It's always great to be on this campus. I mean, let's face it, folks, this is a great source of pride and a great institution that has been a long time coming. And let's also face the fact that every year at the legislature, they try to take the funding away from this school. What the heck's that all about? And also, when you're driving on the interstate, there's a sign for the correctional facility, but not one for this school. And that's kind of what we want to talk about today. We want to talk about putting creativity and innovation and the arts back at the forefront. We want to talk and celebrate who we are and what our great resources are and our assets are. We had a huge convening on August the 10th in Jackson when we rolled out this study. We had over 400 people that we jammed into a standing room only situation and had hundreds of people who literally we could not get in because people were so eager and so excited about this new idea, this new conversation about a new economy, about how Mississippi embraces and celebrates its own story and how we don't have to keep on being told who we are by other people as opposed to our own telling of our own story. So again, these are a lot of the ideas that wrap themselves around this creative economy discussion. And it's also great because as a taxpayer, you are seeing two state agencies collaborate. The Mississippi Arts Commission and the Mississippi Development Authority are coming together to talk about a new strategic economic development idea and how we can implement that. So it's really important for the Arts Commission because we get to talk about where the arts fit in economic development. And it's really important for the economic development folks and MDA because they get to talk about and think about how to use innovation and creativity in economic development. So I like to think about it, about the way the brain works. You know, there's a right side, left side. Traditional economic developers live in the left side. Traditional artists live in the right side. And this is a coming together. It's an opportunity for us to use our whole brain and talk about our whole state and all the strategies possible to make our state what it can be. So it's a really proud moment for us and a hopeful moment too for all of us who call Mississippi home. You know, all 2.9 million Mississippians are involved in this. This is not just about those of us who are in this room today. It's not just about those of us who are on the stage today, but more importantly, it's about them. It's about what I call the 2.9. It's about how we empower people to make a difference, whether it's in education, economic development, or just in quality of life, which is a huge part of what the arts contributes to a community. Quality of life. People live in places where there is good quality of life. Don't be discouraged if in fact you're not quite sure what the creative economy is. You're not alone. It's a new idea, it's a new concept, and we're going to learn together not only what it is, but the second thing is how much of it exists in Mississippi and where is it. Mississippi's creative economy to me is what I like to think about as a crossroads. It's a crossroads where people, places, and prosperity come together. It's my opinion that the reason that we have the traction that we have today around this conversation is that it is no surprise, I'm sure, to all of you that there is a recession. Inside that recession is another thing called innovative stall. And our country is unfortunately kind of in a stall. And we were rolling there for a while, but the economy's not so good, and we're also in a stall. So everybody's looking for new ideas and new answers and a new pathway. So you got this big bubble, and we'll call it the recession or the stall. And underneath it, there's another bubble. And in that bubble is the success that we've enjoyed through heritage and cultural tourism here in Mississippi. We've got a blues trail, a country music trail, we've got a culinary trail, we've got a civil rights trail called the Freedom Trail. And we've got some traction, and people are coming, and people like this idea, and it's doing well. And we've got the B.B. King Museum opened up, and we're about to have a Grammy Museum in Cleveland, Mississippi. And there's this new energy in Mississippi talking about our culture. So that bubble is doing really well, and sitting on top of it is this big old recession. So right in between where they meet, to me, is where this conversation about the creative economy becomes relevant. This is our moment. This is our moment to say that traditional economic development is fine. Manufacturing is great. Agriculture, beautiful. But we are talking about and we are looking at a new economy based in innovation, creativity, and the arts. So on August the 10th, again, we had the Creative Economy Summit in Jackson, and Governor Barber told us very clearly to not sit on our assets. He said, this is one of the things that we have missed in Mississippi, is that we've been sitting on our assets, that we need to get off of our assets, get busy, and talk about what we have and what we can do with what we have. He talked about 61,000 jobs that this study has informed us of. He talked about 3% of our economy, and actually it's more than 3%, is in the creative sector. All the arts jobs, all the creative jobs in Mississippi have not received any sort of government grant. They don't get incentives. They aren't lured here from somewhere else. We don't give them tax breaks. They just are. So we got that many jobs and that percent of our economy living totally organic. What could happen if we nurtured, fertilized, incentivized, and fertilized and tended to this economy that just lives organically? Artists, professors, chefs, designers, architects, blues musicians, poets, and of course, people like Robert St. John, who is a chef, he owns restaurants, he has a whole line of food products, very much a part of the creative economy in Hattiesburg. TV Electronics makes guitars and amplifiers and drums. That's a creative enterprise, and they do pretty good. They're a global concern. Viking Range Corporation in Greenwood, creative enterprise. They've changed the landscape of how the home kitchen looks all over the world. And it started in Greenwood, Mississippi. Places like Ocean Springs, Indianola. When you have a museum on the scale of the B.B. King experience, there's some other things that you have to go with it. You gotta have a place to sleep. You gotta have a place to eat. You wanna go hear live music. You wanna buy some stuff. Clarksdale has completely changed the image of who they are and what they are. Sleepy Delta town, not much going on. Embraced music, begin to recruit people from all over the world. Buy property, renovate, invest, change, create an economy. Mississippi's most valuable assets, in my opinion, are our story. We have an abundant and important story to tell. We tell it through our culture, our arts, our history, and every day we write the book. We write the book through music, literature, architecture, food, the Civil War, civil rights, the arts, and our sacred spaces. We possess an embarrassment of riches. The entire state of Mississippi is a museum. And this museum leads thousands of visitors and ourselves through our story and through America's most creative, diverse, and organic museum, the great state of Mississippi. Heritage and cultural tourism not only brings company to visit, something that we're pretty good at here, but it builds civic pride. Yes, it is a driver for the creative economy. What is better than developing your own story and getting the local people engaged and having company come and everybody being on the same page? And this is where we have a lot of work to do, not just in our visitor centers, but in our coffee shops, in our churches, our small businesses all around Mississippi. We all got to get on the same page about what our communities have to offer. Because company's coming. In fact, they're coming every day. If we don't know what to tell them, then we're not very good hosts. And we like to pride ourselves in Southern hospitality. So we got to get organized, because they are coming.